I usually stay out of these conversations, but with Caitlin Clark, I can't stay silent anymore.
When the greatest of all time speaks, the entire arena seems to freeze. And this time, Michael Jordan wasn't looking back at his own legacy. Instead, he shifted the focus to Caitlin Clark, the emerging force reshaping women's basketball with every release of the ball. In a moment that stunned the crowd and visibly moved Clark, MJ delivered a tribute that carried weight far beyond the floor. The energy shifted instantly. But what did he say that made the building erupt? Hold tight. This is the rise of Caitlin Clark, a defining moment you cannot overlook. Michael Jordan and the rise of Caitlin Clark. Whenever Michael Jordan steps into public discussion, especially outside the NBA, it's never accidental. It's deliberate. And when that rare attention lands on a WNBA rookie, the world pays attention. Jordan has historically remained reserved when it comes to the women's game, choosing to support quietly while expanding his influence through ownership, branding, and global reach. But when he speaks on a talent like Caitlin Clark, it isn't casual praise. It's a shift in how greatness is framed. Clark isn't just putting up numbers. She's reshaping the WNBA's visibility. Her arrival has sparked historic attendance and shattered television records. With the Indiana Fever, she's transformed overlooked matchups into sold-out spectacles, drawing over 1 million viewers per game. Yet her impact goes far beyond statistics. It's cultural. In cities where her games air regularly, youth programs are exploding, camps are filling up, and young girls are picking up basketballs not just to play but to be noticed, to be valued. That kind of influence mirrors what Jordan once did for the men's game. In the 1990s, he didn't simply dominate. He redefined what a basketball icon could mean worldwide. Now, as the Jordan brand quietly forges relationships with WNBA stars, a new chapter of that legacy is unfolding. His empire is evolving, aligning with the commercial and cultural power of elite women athletes. The question is no longer whether the women's game has value. It's how rapidly that value is accelerating. And Caitlin Clark stands at the center of it. So when Jordan publicly acknowledges her, it's never random. His words are rare, but when they land, they carry force. They compel fans, sponsors, and the entire sports industry to pay attention. His legacy holds a gravity few can match. And once he shines that light, looking away becomes impossible. It's more than endorsement, not quite mentorship, but something deeper. A cultural passing of energy. Social media has only amplified that moment. Recognition today doesn't live only on stages or ESPN segments. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok allow legends and rising stars to connect instantly, blurring league lines and breaking gender barriers. That's the environment where Jordan's acknowledgement of Clark exploded, not quietly, but as a viral moment that spread across digital space. Brands reacted quickly. Campaigns pairing male and female athletes aren't just about reach anymore. They're about unity, about imagining basketball greatness without limits. As companies buy into that vision, legends and newcomers are being drawn into shared moments. Those moments allow the past and future to meet, where Jordan can validate Clark without over-explaining a thing. And just as his words settled, why did Larry Bird and Shaquille O'Neal suddenly step forward with unexpected praise of their own? Stay with us. Larry Bird and Shaq. When legends can't ignore Caitlin Clark, Larry Bird, a man never drawn to headlines or theatrics, made a statement that carried quiet power. Speaking in his usual understated manner, Bird admitted that last season he found himself watching Iowa games just as often as Indiana State, his alma mater, and the place where his legendary journey began decades ago. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't exaggerated. But coming from Bird, it meant everything. He doesn't waste words. And when he places Caitlin Clark on the same mental level as the games tied to his own legacy, people listen. What makes his respect even more meaningful is the type of basketball Bird values. He doesn't chase hype. He respects discipline, vision, and smart decision-making. And Clark's game reflects all of it. Her deep-range accuracy, sharp instincts, and control of tempo mirror the qualities that once defined Bird himself. His comment wasn't casual admiration. It was respect rooted in how the game is meant to be played. That subtle acknowledgement spoke volumes to those who understand how rare it is for women's basketball to capture the personal attention of old-school legends. But the wave didn't stop there. Shaquille O'Neal, bold, outspoken, and fiercely loyal, soon added his own voice to the growing chorus. Initially, Shaq's attention hadn't been on Caitlin Clark. Early in her WNBA career, his support leaned clearly toward Angel Reese, a player he has consistently backed in public. But as Clark continued to dominate with composure, confidence, and game-altering skill, something changed. It wasn't the headlines. It wasn't the hype. It was what he saw firsthand. And when he finally spoke, the shift was undeniable. "Now I'm not Shaq. I'm just a fan," he admitted, momentarily setting aside his larger-than-life persona. He didn't stop at calling her good. He explained why. He highlighted her playmaking, her ability to elevate teammates, and her impact beyond scoring. He emphasized that her decisions weren't flashy for attention, but correct for winning. Shaq has played alongside legends. He understands the difference between temporary excitement and sustained greatness. And in Caitlin Clark, he recognized the latter. What made his praise even more striking was how naturally it came despite his earlier stance. There was no hesitation. He acknowledged how television can misrepresent a player, but said Clark was even more impressive in person. Her movement, shot selection, leadership, it all translated seamlessly. Shaq wasn't chasing sound bites. He was genuinely impressed by her intelligence, control, and maturity on the floor. And he made it clear what she's doing is far from ordinary. Recognition from figures like Bird and Shaq isn't just validation. It represents a shift in how the game is viewed by those who helped define it. Their respect isn't emotional. It's analytical, shaped by years of understanding what separates great players from the rest. And as praise from legends continued to surround her, one question remained. Why was Caitlin Clark left off Team USA's Olympic roster? And is there more behind that decision? Let's dig deeper. When criticism fuels a comeback, Caitlin Clark's silent uprising. There's a unique silence that comes with being overlooked. Not the kind that echoes in empty arenas, but the kind that settles deep inside when your name isn't called. Caitlin Clark had faced pressure before, but missing the U.S. Olympic roster carried a different weight. It wasn't only about the tournament. It was the message behind it that shook fans and critics alike. For many, it felt impossible. A player who had reignited interest in women's basketball, filled arenas, and boosted ratings worldwide, now left off the global stage. It didn't sit right. But not everyone saw it as a setback. Dwight Howard, whose NBA career was shaped by both dominance and adversity, viewed it as a challenge, one that could ultimately fuel her growth. "This should make her work harder," he said bluntly, offering no soft sympathy. It wasn't an insult. It was a challenge. Howard wasn't dismissing her disappointment. He was pointing toward what comes next. He'd seen it before. Athletes who get snubbed often respond by making the world regret it. He expected no less from Caitlin, and perhaps that exclusion gave her something she hadn't had in a long time: space. Without the pressure of Olympic schedules and global scrutiny, she recalibrated. Missing Paris gave her time to sharpen her craft quietly. While attention shifted elsewhere, she stayed locked in the gym. Her fire wasn't performative. It was personal. Fans didn't see every late-night workout or extra film session, but they were happening steadily. Meanwhile, former NBA guard Jeff Teague wasn't holding back. From his perspective, the WNBA had mishandled a massive opportunity. "They played this completely wrong," he said, frustration clear in his voice. Teague wasn't chasing headlines, but his point was sharp. The league hadn't just underused Caitlin Clark. It had pushed away a wave of fans she brought with her. Arenas were selling out. Merchandise was surging. Social media engagement was exploding. And yet, her reception felt cold. Teague wasn't alone. Hall of Famer Rick Barry went even further. The physical treatment Caitlin faced, he argued, wasn't just aggressive, it was targeted. "It's reprehensible," he said. And coming from Barry, a man who played in an era defined by hard fouls, that carried weight. What disturbed him wasn't just the contact. It was the example being set. If stars aren't protected, what message does that send? During those early months, every game carried added pressure. Every foul felt intentional. Every stare down felt like a warning. Still no theatrics. No emotional outbursts. Just focus. She absorbed it all with professionalism. Slowly, the narrative began to shift. Teammates stood firmer. Opponents took notice, even if quietly. The silence that once felt like rejection started to feel different. It wasn't doubt anymore. It was tension. Because this story is no longer just about attendance or ratings. Caitlin Clark is becoming something unavoidable. And as her performance continues to speak, the respect from legends grows louder. What once sounded like whispers now feels like prophecy. So what comes next? Stay with us. This story is only beginning. The fire they can't ignore. From the outside, her rise may appear effortless, but beneath it lies pressure, envy, legacy, and expectation colliding on one player. And when someone like Michael Jordan speaks, the basketball world listens. His words about Caitlin weren't casual praise. They were a torch being passed. "She's got that fire," he said. "The kind that scares people." He even suggested she was better than every player on the 2025 U.S. Olympic roster. But Jordan wasn't talking about opponents on the scoreboard. He was talking about fear. Fear from those who see her success as a threat. The way they target her, he explained, that's not basketball. That's fear. Coming from a man who built his legacy by silencing doubt, the message was unmistakable. Ignore the noise. Stay locked in. Let the game speak. That wasn't motivation. It was instruction. Jordan understood what it meant to be dissected, doubted, and turned into a symbol. And by recognizing that same fire in Caitlin Clark, he confirmed she belongs in rare company. She's not just earning respect from the past. She has the full attention of the present. Steph Curry, often compared to Caitlin Clark for her limitless range and lightning-quick release, sees far more than a shooter when he watches her play. The shot gets the attention, he said, but it's her command of the floor that makes her special. Coming from a four-time NBA champion whose career redefined modern basketball, that isn't flattery. It's recognition. A reflection. Both entertainers, both thinkers, both innovators changing the geometry of the game. Steph's admiration became public during the historic NBA versus WNBA three-point contest, where he narrowly defeated Sabrina Ionescu. And the idea of Caitlin stepping into that spotlight one day, maybe even challenging Steph himself, no longer feels unrealistic. She's been asked. So far she's passed. But she hasn't closed the door. And the basketball world is holding its breath for when that moment finally arrives. All of it fuels a question that's now being whispered in hallways and debated loudly on sports panels everywhere. Is Caitlin Clark carrying the WNBA? Look at the evidence. Television ratings that once struggled for relevance are now pulling primetime numbers. Arenas that couldn't fill seats for playoff games are packed for regular season nights. Brands that never acknowledged the league are suddenly racing to sign deals. Private flights, national ad campaigns, viral highlights, all orbiting the same force. Caitlin Clark. Magic Johnson, a man who knows exactly what it means to change the trajectory of basketball, didn't hesitate when asked. "She's done for the WNBA what Larry Bird and I did for the NBA," he said. When he and Bird entered the league, they didn't just compete. They revived it. Now Clark's influence is being measured on that same scale. And while many of her peers may not have anticipated being pulled into this level of attention, they're benefiting from it too. Increased exposure, deeper investment, improved conditions. It all traces back to her impact. Yet the reaction inside the league hasn't been universally warm. The criticism, the physical play, the subtle distance, it's impossible to ignore. Is it competition, insecurity, or something deeper? Whatever it is, it hasn't slowed her down. If anything, it's sharpened her edge. For Caitlin, this was never about popularity. It's about legacy. She isn't demanding to be the face of women's basketball. She simply keeps becoming it. Every shot raises the stakes. Every arena feels the shift. Whether the league welcomes it or resists it, the transformation is already underway. The game is adjusting to Caitlin Clark. And what comes next could redefine everything. Stay tuned because the legends aren't done speaking. The weight of the moment. The weight of the moment. There's an old saying in basketball, game recognizes game. It's more than a phrase. It's a measuring stick. And Caitlin Clark now stands in that rare space where legends begin to lean in. 5. Not long ago, she was just a college sensation, lighting up scoreboards and dominating social media with highlight after highlight. But what she's become since entering the professional ranks is far bigger than promise. This isn't about potential anymore. It's about impact. And now some of the most iconic figures in sports history are attaching their voices to hers. Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, names carved into greatness across different arenas, all acknowledging Caitlin's fire in their own way. Jordan, famously selective with praise, broke his silence not only to recognize her talent, but to criticize the system surrounding her. His words were short, sharp, and unmistakable. The WNBA owes Caitlin a great deal for what she's done for the game. Coming from a man who built a global empire on dominance and excellence, that wasn't just approval, it was pressure. He went further, calling out officiating, the physical punishment she's absorbed, and the league's tolerance of it. It's time to fix this, he implied. He wasn't suggesting. He was demanding. Still, not everyone is applauding. A quiet tension lingers beneath the surface. You can hear it in post-game interviews, see it in sideline reactions, sense it in commentary from longtime veterans of the women's game. Megan Rapinoe, someone deeply familiar with the weight of expectation, offered a measured but pointed response. Without naming anyone directly, her message was clear. Pressure comes with the spotlight. Sometimes you just have to play through it. It wasn't bitterness. It was perspective. Every era has its battles. Respect isn't given. It's earned nightly. But what happens when someone is already doing exactly that? Because Caitlin Clark isn't asking for sympathy. She isn't dodging tough questions or complaining about hard fouls. She's showing up everywhere. Every game. Every city. Every headline. Breaking rookie records. Reviving struggling franchises. Making basketball relevant again in markets that had tuned out. She isn't just surviving the pressure. She's thriving under it with a composure that veterans twice her age sometimes struggle to maintain. It's no longer just about the stat lines, even though they remain staggering. It's about how much space she now occupies in conversations that once excluded the WNBA entirely. It's about economics. When Rachel Diaz said Caitlin moves the needle, she meant it literally. Caitlin Clark doesn't just sell jerseys. She redirects advertising dollars. Broadcast schedules bend around her presence. Analysts who once ignored the league now build entire segments around her. She's no longer an up-and-comer. She is the event. And that kind of momentum always invites resistance. Discomfort follows anyone who rewrites the rules this quickly. But resistance doesn't erase reality. Legends are watching closely. Steph Curry has broken down her shooting mechanics on national television. Gretzky has praised her leadership and poise. These aren't casual compliments. They're confirmations from the summit. When Wayne Gretzky steps beyond hockey to acknowledge a rookie basketball player, it signals something rare. And through it all, Caitlin hasn't asked for attention. No grand statements. No public feuds. No self-celebration. Just basketball. Hard fouls knock her down, she gets back up. Loaded questions come her way, she answers calmly. Pushback from within the league, she keeps playing. At times, it feels like the weight of an entire sport has been placed on her shoulders. And instead of buckling, she carries it with balance. Even amid questionable officiating, whispered resentment, and relentless scrutiny, she moves with quiet confidence. A steady rhythm that says, you can doubt me, hit me, watch me, but you won't stop me. That's more than skill. That's presence. And presence is what turns players into icons. Caitlin Clark isn't waiting for the game to catch up. She's pulling it forward. The cheers, the criticism, the records, the resistance, all part of the same current now. A movement driven not just by her shot, but by the gravity she brings. Caitlin Clark isn't just part of the story anymore. She's the thread holding it together. So what does it mean when Jordan, Gretzky, and Curry all rally behind a rookie WNBA star? Let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more.